Hello, my dear 8th class students. Welcome back to Social Studies online class. As we started the title in the last week online session of the Social Studies class, Tribal People and Foresters, and we stopped in the page number 56. During the last 200 years after the establishment of the British rule, in India, the tribal people gradually lost their control and rights over the forest. Where the tribal community people have freedom in the forest, later on they lost their rights on the forest. Since the forests were rapidly cut down, this happened in two ways. Firstly, there was a great demand for wood for various purposes like building railways, ships, factories, mines, houses, furniture, etc. Similarly, many industries like paper industry, as you have read in the class 7, paper mill and what raw materials it needed. So these are all the aspects we here included where the tribal communities are lost their rights moreover on the forests. Industries, as you have read in the class 7th, need large quantities of pulp wood. As a result of these pressures, large tracts of the forest were cut down and the wood was sold out. In many areas, forests were cut down to create plantation of tea, coffee or rubber and later on of quick growing trees like the eucalyptus, like Nilgiri, which we say in our language, eucalyptus or bamboo. Thus the total area under the forest is got reduced gradually, which means when the tribal communities are lost their rights on the forests, then afterwards here all these situations are happened. The forests are decreased, the forests are the forest lands are made as the production cultivation lands of tea, coffee and eucalyptus. These are all the benefited professional crops are produced in that areas where the damage reputation of the complete the tribal communities, where the tribal communities has to depend on that. Moreover, the laws passed by the Nizam government in the areas under the control restricted the industrial customary rights of the tribal and forest users by the classifying forests as reserved and protected forests. Reserved forests were forced in which no one could enter. Protected forests could be used by people. They could take headlost of the wood and small forest produce for their own use and could graze their cattle. But here too there were many restrictions on the cutting trees, grazing more than the limit set by the forest department, etc. Who is the forest department at that time? The Nizam, Britishers, who were colonized to as the colonizers are the forest departments who were pulled the rights from the tribal communities who are also forest protectors in the before times. And as we know, very large number of the people lived in these forests and depended upon their use. The government at the point of time did not really care for them. When the government had to define the area under forest, it treated most of the land used by the tribal as forest belonging to the government. This was because unlike in the plains, villages which had village land records, most of the tribal cultivated land without any ownership records. In the northern districts of Telangana, the Gonds cultivated settled agriculture, while the Kolams etc. practiced Podu cultivation on the hill slopes. Even the Gonds who practiced a more settled types of the agriculture were in the habit of the living lands, fallow and cultivation alternate lands in 2-year cycles. The, the demarcation of the reservoir forests did not take notice of these practices and rendered many tribals without rights and led to forced evictions, which means what forests were made as the agricultural lands by the tribal communities. That lands, all of that lands, Nizam and the colonizers of that time were evicted by the tribal communities. In one stroke, the tribal people were rendered homeless in their own homes. To add to it, the government was eager to hand over the land to the zamindars and cultivators from the other areas so that they could settle down and cultivate the lands and pay the revenue to the government. The evicted tribal people had to work for these landlords now, which means what lands were pulled by the tribal communities and who has gained the more and more land, like the Nizams of that time. They became the landlords, and nearby that landlords, these are the tribal people should work as the laborers. On the lands which the tribal people were allowed to cultivate, they had to pay very high revenue. Often they had to borrow money from the money lenders to pay this amount. In the end, they had to sell off their lands to the money lenders. Thus, they again lost whatever land they had, which means whatever the land they have, that land also came to lost by the tribal communities, because the situations were made like that by the Nizams, who were basically has the lot of amount of the land, the sufficient amount of the land which they were cultivated. On that, the money lenders are imposed penalties, taxation was imposed, and that lands are finally they have to lost by their hands to the tribal communities. The forest department, which was established in this period, had the task of the protecting the forest and planting new trees. It also had the responsibility of the managing the harvesting of the forest, that is felling mature old trees and selling them to earn money for the government. The forest department officials, usually belonging to the distant rich communities, who regarded the tribal people as ignorant and dangerous and had no sympathy for them. Their belief is that, their thinking is that the tribal community people who are the losing, who are damaging the reputation of the foresters, who do not have any sympathy on the foresters. The forest department was expected that, but the exploited the helpless tribal, cheated them and constantly harassed them in the name of the forest conservation. Large scale evictions occurred in the 1920s and mopping operations and continued till 1940s. This created an atmosphere of the unending insecure for the tribal people, which means here the tribal communities are turned towards of the Nizams, who are evicted lot of amount of the forests, several acres of the forests, and there are the several disputes that happened here during the 1920s to 40s. The tribal people protested and fought against this from the very beginning. In some regions like the northeast, they were able to win some protection from the government. At the time of the independence, our national leaders were debating whether it was better for the tribal people to be left alone to lead their traditional lives in the forests, or should they be made to adopt settled agriculture. Modern education and industrial work was brought several changes in this aspects. The change from the 1988 to 1990s. By the 1988, the government had realized that the development of the tribal people could not be thought of the without giving them any rights over forests. They understood that the protection of the forests was impossible without the active role of the tribals. The National Forest Policy 1988 declared that the primary task should be to associate the tribal people with the protection, regeneration and the development of the forests. It also wanted to provide gainful employment to the people living in and around in the forest. The government sought to involve the villages communities living close to the forests in their protection and development of the degraded forest land, which means here in 1988 National Forest Policy was declared. The National Forest Policy was allowed to the tribal communities to do their activities, because without tribal communities the forest protection is not possible. And also there are some employees, some hiring was done here after the 1988 Forest Policy Declaration. Then after here the forest protectors were appointed like as the forest departments at present, which we also have. It also prescribed the right of use to village communities to meet the requirements of forest produce, and active participation in the afforestation programs. This was the beginning of an active cooperation between the forest village communities and the forest department for the revival and restoration and the development of the degraded forests. Under the new policy, the forest department and the local communities are expected to collaborate in the regenerating the degraded forest, planting trees. The communities are allowed to use the grass and other minor forest produce. These all the aspects were done in the 1988 forest policy. In Telangana, this program was renamed as the Community Forest Management CFM, Community Forest Management Program. While this program helped to bring together the forest department and the local communities, is only forced the tribal people to give up and the earlier Podu lands for the forest generation. So during the same time, several tiger sanctuaries were established in the forests to protect wildlife, to protect forests. There are the several wildlife sanctuaries are launched. Then later on in the recent times, Forest Rights Act in 2006, the tribal people had been protesting and fighting against this new policy activities. Their cause was taken up by many non-governmental agencies, which built a national campaign for the tribal rights over forests. After prolonged debate, the Parliament passed the Forest Rights Act in 2006. In which year Forest Rights Act was passed by the Parliament? In 2006. For the first time it was accepted that during the last 200 years gross injustice had been done to tribal people and the others by denying the traditional rights over the forests, which actually belonged to them. It also recognized that it was impossible to preserve the forests without restoring the rights of the tribes, etc. Which means when the Forest Rights Act was passed in the favor of tribal communities, from that time the agency area people who are living in the very slum regions, that who are living in the rural areas, that people can make the agriculture lands to the forests. They can cut the forests and they can cultivate they can prepare the agricultural land when this act was passed from the 2006. First, to conserve the forests and at the same time ensure the livelihoods and food security of the forest dwellers. Second, that forest rights on the ancestral lands and their habitats were not adequately recognized during the colonial period as well as independent India. This resulted in the historical injustice to the forest dwellers who are integral to the very survival and the sustainability of the forests. And third, it has become necessary to address the long standing insecurity of land rights and access rights of the forest dwellers, including those who were forced to relocate their dwellings due to state development interventions like dams or tiger reservoirs. These all the things were established. The act confers of the forest dwellers and other traditional users of the forests their traditional rights over the forests and also entitlements to the lands they use. The implementation of the property, this act can be used to undo the wrong done to the tribal people over the generations. Many people who are associated with the conservation of the forests fear that the act may cause the further deforestation as the people may try to make use of forests for the commercial purposes rather than for the traditional democratic purposes. So on the other hand, some others feel that by making the forest dwellers who have been traditionally taking care of the forests the main protection, we will be able to save the forests better, as the forest departments also, when it was started by the 1988 by the government of India, then the forest protectors also. But at present also we can find in the society there are the several smugglers who are cutting the trees and exporting the timber to the various areas. So we have to protect the forests for the sustainability for our future generations. Do complete this lesson in your fair note. Write all the you are learning and keywords of this lesson, and we will continue we will start next new chapter in next online session of the social studies class. Thank you.